for some reason, British men to me, I feel like an aversion to them on a romantic level. I don't know what it is. My friends are often like, "Oh my God, that British guy is so hot, his accent." I find it to be a huge turn off. I love the accents. I think they're fun. They're
I
great.
do enjoy the
I
accents.
love it. But as far as like finding a man attractive romantically, can't really do it with the British accent. And I would
Just
love to be proven wrong. I would love it.
culturally different, not compatible.
There's something like, so the reason I mentioned the gay thing and me being duped, I feel like there is something I associate with British men being dainty. And that's so not okay because that's not true as a general statement. But there is something that I've always like felt.
Okay, and once again, we find ourselves coming to you from the comfort of our home.
Great one. No, keep it. You're so funny. Keep it.
Radio podcaster once again. Yeah. Do you even podcast, bro?
Oh my God.
I do occasionally. Yeah, when we have time for it. No, we make it a priority. We're pretty good about that.
Yes. And welcome back.
But yeah, to
your favorite podcast.
Yeah, to your favorite podcast and ours.
And ours.
Indecent disclosure. Thank you guys so much for being here with us.
That was a real rocky start.
Yeah,
there.
I don't know. I was a little rusty maybe. We're just getting back from vacation. We recorded the 2 episodes with Lele and Jesse right after, but we were still probably on some like island high, and now we're back in the grind and in the groove and doing our thing again, and we haven't
like
jumped on since then. So I've definitely been riding the wave. Not literally high, but kind of literally high.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been really nice. Yeah, just getting back into things. I feel like I've definitely had like a different perspective on life a little bit just from what I saw there. Just having such an easygoing trip, and just everything went so smooth, like all the travel plans, there were just no hiccups anywhere. We were able to do everything according to our own plans and really go where we wanted to go, see what we wanted to see at a moment's notice, and it wasn't, hindered by anybody else being like, oh, well, I want to do this or I'm feeling this. It was really just, very much about us.
Yeah.
So that was super cool. But I am excited to be back home and back in Flag and getting back into the groove of things. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So we should probably talk about Hawaii a little bit, break it down for the folks. If you check out our social medias, you probably noticed, Benny, stop. You probably noticed that we didn't post too much. And the reason behind that is really just because we were having such a fucking great time and we're trying to be present. And yeah, I did post a little bit just for our friends that asked us to. But mainly we had such a gorgeous.
It was the gorgeous.
It was the gorgeous
trip.
Time. But yeah, we really couldn't focus on making sure you all saw it because we were busy experiencing it.
I was pretty good about putting stories up and stuff because I like taking the photos too, so I'll remember. So I did take quite a few, but it is hard, that kind of balance of like wanting to post things and not feeling like you're missing out because you're posting and you're focusing on something other than what's right in front of you. So I like to take photos, and we take a lot of photos together.
Not really. We only took like a couple, and they were on the mountaintop, but like no other ones. None on the dates, none on the beach. We really didn't take very many photos together.
I think we did.
No, I swear.
There's probably at least a dozen.
They were all in the same position on the mountain.
No, from start to finish of the trip, there was definitely a lot.
Hmm. I think there may have been like
I'm gonna have to
a
post them now to
few.
prove you wrong.
Okay.
Great, thanks. See what you made me do. See,
Did I ruin it?
yeah,
Sorry.
it's all bad now. Oh well. Well,
Well,
next one, yeah, I guess
what?
I don't know. We can keep going on about Hawaii, or I've got a couple things I want to ask you and talk about other than Hawaii.
Okay, go on. Go on. We
I
can
was gonna.
talk. I swear we can use our fucking voices.
I don't know what's
Jesus.
happening.
Eh, bleh, de do de
Uh,
da.
so I saw earlier today that you have a big giveaway going on with yourself and a bunch of really, really awesome small business owners, local ladies here in town. So I wanted to ask you a little bit
Hmm.
about that because I thought that was a pretty big deal.
Wow, that's so thoughtful of you. Thank you, baby. Can't believe I didn't even think to bring that up. Wow, really making shit, not happen over here. Yeah. So my friend Laura set it up, and it includes Laura Morrissey, Hannah Rose Gray, Olivia Joy Smith, um, myself, Holly Ambler White. And then we also have a new woman in town. Well, I guess also Avery Kopp. And then she's not new in town, but like new to social media. Um, our friend Shiloh Faustine Terrence. And she is a new author that has just completed her book, and I've been helping her get it published. So that's something I haven't announced on here yet, but it's been a really awesome adventure. And yeah, we were able to use this platform that Laura gave us on our Instagram giveaway, which go check it out if you haven't already on my Instagram at Holly White Health. Um, Essentially all of us are giving a service or a piece of jewelry or whatever we have to offer away, and then Shiloh is going to give away a personalized signed copy of her brand new book, Tales from the Deck, The Magician, which is like a modern take on magic and romance, and it's just fucking fabulous. So thanks for
Yeah,
asking
I'm
about that.
excited to read that book. I still haven't yet. But yeah, so then you have Hannah Rose Gray, who's doing a photography session, and then
Mm-hmm.
Olivia's doing a cupping session. And then you said, who else?
Laura is going to do like a gloss, like a hair gloss. I don't
Okay.
honestly know what that means. And like a blow dry style.
Mm-hmm.
And then Avery is doing a jewelry giveaway. She's giving away this gorgeous necklace and
That's
pendant.
awesome.
And then I'm giving away an hour-long intuitive life coaching session.
Yeah, I
So
thought about it. I was like, I wonder if I should enter, but I feel like maybe not.
you
Maybe not
absolutely should
fair.
enter. We're going to draw the names really fairly, and it's like a great way for us to market each other. We're all local business owners, and yeah, it's like we should do
So
giveaways more
one person
often.
gets all those things, or you're doing
Yes.
6 different
No,
ones?
no. One person gets
One
all of
person's
it.
getting hooked
It's
up.
a fucking
That's
amazing
like a treat
thing.
yourself win right there.
Oh my God. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. And I already had someone message me and be like, wait, I have to go on and tag 2 friends in every single one of your pages. I'm like, well, yes, because that's what the point of this is to
Mm-hmm.
help us we give away free shit in order to get
Right. It's promotional.
yeah, a
That's
promotion in return.
that's
So
how social media works.
yeah. So I'm really hoping to, because Shiloh is so new to social media. It's like literally starting from ground zero. There is nothing there, that this is going to be a big way to promote her book and get her a bigger following. And actually, even just today, she got like 40 new followers like in the last couple hours. So that's awesome. I feel stoked about it. And I'm so grateful that you brought that up. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a big deal when you have 6 different, women business owners that work for themselves and, work on their own practice that come together to do something like that locally. Like it's pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
especially, all of you guys. You guys are pretty well known and popular in town.
Aw, thanks,
At
booby.
least well liked, so
Yeah.
well respected people. So it was just cool to see. I was like, this is kind of a big deal. you know?
Wow, I'm so, so thankful that you say that and that you feel that way and that you brought it up because I feel really, really blessed that I'm a part of it too. And it's one of those things like we talk about it a lot where it's like, oh, well, if you want more people to be involved in whatever business, like you better be on top of your social media shit. But
Yeah.
it's literally torture for me. I fucking
It's
hate
really
it.
hard work for me too, and I've, talked about how I started my own Instagram for the business page and immediately just like photo dumped a bunch of photos and spent the time, but it was like it's like
Hmm.
hours that you have to sit down and
Right.
t- you know upload the photo and write the caption and do all the hashtags and tag everyone, and then
Hmm.
it's I don't really do it to amass a following. For me it's more just to promote the business, but even then I don't really need, like, I don't market or advertise anywhere, and I'm, as too busy to really even keep up
Yeah.
with the current workload, which is a great problem to have.
But it might not
um
always be that way. And that's why that
Right,
marketing
and that's
now,
when you
like
need to
continuing
have
it.
that there, because then you're still gonna be very recognizable and well, known, so that you can
Yeah. And if
have
you only
people, as
like
soon
pop
as they
your,
think like, "I need this done," that they're immediately gonna think of you and have so much
right.
history and results that you've shown to look on to reference, so
It's kind of like a continual process.
it's
You can't just
it's
like pop your head
important.
out of the hole when you need
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
People are
it's
going to
important,
not
but
see your
I'm not,
stuff.
like, super into it either, so it's hard, but
Yeah, it's just
it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
I just more and more in my life am like, I don't want to sit here on my phone. It fucking annoys me. And yeah, I have my moments of mindless scrolling too, but it takes usually about 2 minutes of doing that for me to go, why am I doing why am I doing that? Like what's the point of this? And I put
Yeah.
my phone down because I don't care. I would rather, like, if I'm really bored, right? I don't understand. I'm an Aries, so I'm full of boredom. Give me something to do for more than 10 minutes and I'm like, "Okay, thank you so much. You've bored me now. What's next?" But
Next.
next, please.
Next.
I feel like there's always stuff you can do. It's like go outside, read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a show. I don't know. I'm not the type to feel very fulfilled by scrolling at people's photos.
Yeah, it definitely just depends on where your priorities lie. Because I feel like you can easily spend that time that you would be scrolling doing something else, but we still choose not to. And as long as you're
Mhm.
content, who cares?
That's actually something I think is important maybe to discuss too, is that I can't remember if you were talking to me about it. I think we had discussed that I was talking to a couple girlfriends recently about how big of a problem it is that partners, female, male, whatever, like, but specifically my girlfriends were saying that a lot of their dudes have an issue with like placing their avoidant tendencies in their phone.
Yeah, I do that
Well, yeah,
for
so
sure.
that's why we talked about it, I think, was
Yeah.
that I was like, I realized that do you do that kind of? Because it kind
Mm-hmm.
of seems like you do, and I wanted to approach it lightly, but we've known that for a long time. That's like your space when you're stressed out. You're like, I'm just gonna put my head in my phone and
Yeah,
watch
it's
dumb
the quickest,
videos.
easiest distraction to like take your mind off stuff, but it's also annoying how like 45 minutes can go by and you're not like any more relieved or relaxed or at ease.
Right,
The problems didn't go away, so you're just, yeah, being avoidant. So,
right.
yeah.
But ever since we've had that talk, like, do you feel like you've been more aware? I do. I think both of us have been
Mhm.
more aware of just not allowing ourselves to do that because we don't want to pay attention to the things we really need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, and we're constantly working on our own lives individually and
Mm,
together, and so I think as much progress as we make in our day-to-day lives, it's we're constantly working through things, whether it be professional, or personal or whatever, that I think we're able to kind of set that phone habit aside and just continually be working on things that are more important. And so
mm,
the phone thing isn't as big of a deal, because it's not like when something comes up, we don't process it or don't deal with it,
mm-hmm.
and then it's just like a year's gone by and we're in the same
Right.
place we were a year ago. So I mean, for us, it's something that I think hasn't really inhabited, or at least for me, it hasn't inhabited our relationship. Because yes, we did bring it up and talk about it, but that also we're constantly dealing with our emotions and processing them
Mhm.
and our, day-to-day stresses, so that it's never like, oh yeah, he's just on his phone now and it's been like that for 2 years.
Oh my god, yeah, I could not deal with that,
So
but
yeah, I mean, it's just about your priorities and how you kind of handle your different stresses and, you know, things, and how you relieve yourself of that, because being avoidant of your stress doesn't actually ever deal with the stress, and
doesn't
then you're
pan
just
out
still
well.
stressed.
Yeah, it's like you look up from your phone and you're like, "God damn it, it's still there." It's like the
Yeah.
big elephant in the room and you're like, "I'm going to just pretend not to see it. I'm going to look down here." And with the stress thing too, it's easy for me to forget that you have big stressors going on in your life, and you are a really sensitive person, because as much as I know those things, like, you often are so I don't know how to say it. You're so able to compartmentalize, and although we discuss a lot of really in-depth emotions and intricacies of our lives, you're so good at saying, I don't need to talk about my day when I come home from work. And I'm kind of the opposite of that, which I think can be frustrating for you. And I totally get it. I try not to do that as much anymore, because it's like, man, I don't need to hear about every fucking thing you did in your day and how emotional it was with your clients and la la la. Like, I totally understand that. And you've never said those words to me, to be clear. But I think I've gotten so used to you compartmentalizing, or just like not talking to me about your work stress or your stress at all, that when you are stressed out, I can certainly tell, but it's definitely not from you saying it out loud to me. So, like,
Sure.
the other day when you said to me, like, I'm thinking, I have a lot on my mind, I'm kind of stressed out, I'm having a moment, and you weren't very supportive of me, I was able to be like, it definitely put me in my place, because I was just thrown off. Like, I didn't realize, what you were going through, because I just put this stigma on you. Like, you're just this big happy man all the time. And it's like, well, yeah, that's mostly true, but everyone has their own shit they're going through. And it was just an important learning moment for me to be more aware and conscious and compassionate, and to try to have somewhat of a fucking filter, because I just say
Yeah.
shit without thinking, and I can be hurtful sometimes, and I don't even mean to be.
So I definitely choose not to like bring my stress home. My home, our home for me is stress free. Like when I'm here, I'm not stressed. I'm not, anxious. I mean, I'm always having something going on with work or what. There's just always going to be those things. You're always going to have personal relationships that something's going on with, and stressors at work or difficult things that you're dealing with. It's always going to be that. And so I mentally chose a long time ago just to not bring that stuff home. And when I walk out the door in the morning and get in my work truck or get on the job site or start phoning clients, like, then I'll deal with those things. But when I'm at home, it's not a thing for me. I'm not stressed or unhappy. I'm comfortable. I'm fulfilled and content. So I feel like there's no reason for me. It's just the way that I process things, I guess, and my emotions. I don't need to talk about them or air them out. Sometimes it's really nice to have a second opinion and talk to people about what you're going through or what's going on or just little things. But for me, I feel like the more that I talk about negative things, the more I'm just going to be kind of in a negative space. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm able to just set it aside until I can deal with it. And then I'm not really dwelling on anything negative. And that's just me personally, how I deal with what goes on in my life. So, and I like to think too that means that the people around me have a lot more easy time being around me. And it's not that I'm like trying to save them from anything, but it's just really easy for me to deal with it on my own. And if it's ever not, I definitely make sure and say like, hey, got a few things going on. I'm gonna need you kind of back off a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But
No, I completely get it. We all process differently, and I'm one to share absolutely everything. So, uh, it's so crazy too, because, well, it's not really that
well,
crazy. The
for me,
synchronous
go
oh, go
ahead. Sorry.
okay. So the synchronicities in our life are always unfolding like so on point, poignantly, right? Where it's like, oh fuck, now this happened and that happened and everything's like coming together. It's pretty cool. One of those little things was we've just kind of been talking the last couple days about like certain things we needed to process together with friendships and career stuff. It's been really great. We're always doing that. But today I read this astrology book I have that's awesome. It's called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need, which is very true. It's like so great. And so I was reading her some astrology stuff, and she's an Aries like me. She has different moon and rising sign. But as I'm reading this to her, I'm going, holy shit. Like both of us are laughing, you know, because this thing is so incredibly accurate. But I was like, man, I really needed to like readdress who I am on a core level and the personality traits I have, because they were so on point with what we were talking about. How like, yeah, I don't have a filter a lot of times. I just say whatever the fuck's on my mind. I get bored easily, like we said earlier. And then another funny part of it was that it's saying like, I did know this, but Libra or Aries is like the first sign in the zodiac, even though it's not at the calendar year. It's the first sign in the zodiac, and Libra is its opposite. So that's a huge reason I think why I get along so well with you and you're so balancing to me, is because all of your tendencies to respond to things the way you do just coincides so fluidly with the way that I do. And I know we're not completely ruled by our zodiac signs and shit, but it's still always a little bit confirming, I guess, to read those things. It's interesting
to reflect on those things and get a little bit more in-depth insight from an external source.
Yeah, completely non-biased source that's like, hey, Aries in general tend to be kind of egotistical assholes, but they're also really fun to be around. And you're like, ouch. But also, yeah.
But that makes sense.
But
yeah, so I was going to say, like, I like hearing about your day when you're excited about stuff and you want to talk about things. For me, that's exciting because I can tell you're stimulated or you have something going on that, you know, we can process and work through. And so it's healthy, but it's also fun for me because it's, you know, it's a lot of just excitement in general for what you have going on or what you accomplished or what you did. And I know how much you like to talk about your day. So for me,
I love like, to talk. I don't know if you knew.
It's a nice thing. Because, I mean, can you imagine just being in a relationship where you're like, so what do we talk about now? You know, like I can't imagine ever not, or being in the same room as you and not be constantly having a conversation.
Like
we're
guys,
always talking. It's never quiet.
Like...
There are like no dull moments had over here.
Except we can just like, there are times we sit in the car driving to Phoenix or whatever for an hour or more. We don't say a word to each other.
But that's different because we're telepathically communicating, so we don't have to,
that's true. That's true. If we're within 5 feet of each other, we know what we're saying. So it's to the point, you guys, where we're like, when we're laying in bed at night, we turn the TV off a lot of times, you know, and we're just like laying there. We go to sleep. We can fall asleep within like 2 minutes of closing our eyes. So we'll lay there and then one of us just says something ridiculous and we just start giggling. And then we're in bed just talking about the most ridiculous, like random, you know, those weird sleepy bedtime thoughts where you start to doze off and you dream some weird shit. It's pretty much like that's what comes to our minds. It's like little kids who have stayed up too late and start getting delusional.
Yep, exactly.
And they're laughing at the most off the wall shit. And it's so much fun. I love it.
I always find that half dream state really fascinating and just like the images and stuff that comes to your mind because you're like, I'm kind of in a different space, but like also what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's like just drifting in the subconscious void.
It's a nice space to be in. But
you know, my subconscious void is a fucking whirlwind and I love it. It's just weird all the way. So I was going to say that my gratitude for the week is that I'm just so fucking happy summer is here. I feel like a completely different person. I know we mentioned this before. I truly feel that with how light and airy and free and happy I feel now that the sun is out and the flowers are blooming and the spring is has happened and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I don't know if any of that made sense. I think I just mixed up a bunch of words.
No, it all made sense.
Okay.
For sure.
I felt like I put
You just
birds and
started
flowers and
floating
different.
away.
Yeah. I just got
Started
really
thinking about
excited
it.
and I was looking at the tree outside
Summer's
and there were
here.
bees and it just felt really good. So that is literally how good I feel. I can't even just use my words. It just makes me realize like, wow, I was really in a stupor there for a while because I am so fucking happy now.
I think a lot of people feel like a big weight has been lifted because, I mean, more so now that it's summer, people can go outside again and go hiking and go adventure and go travel, go camping, go to the lake, whatever it is. Everybody's doing that a little more and taking a little more stress off their shoulders by just relaxing and
Yeah, I think something I realized
resting.
too is that we live on this gorgeous piece of land, but it's just pretty barren, you know? And so the trees, some of them die during the winter. They're just fucking barren. The ground is barren. There's ravens everywhere, which is actually really fucking cool. But like my other birds I love, we have a couple red-tailed hawks that live in our yard. They go away. The eagles go away. Like just all the lizards and the beautiful things, the flowers, the birds aren't chirping. The sun is so not here for most of the day. And it's like kind of like a winter wasteland. I don't know. Like, I don't want to be depressing, but that's what it makes me feel like when I can go outside and the birds are chirping and I can hear the bees buzzing and there's like lizards crawling across my feet in the garden and the sun is shining. Like I just feel like I'm on ecstasy. I wake up in a good mood. And when I look outside and it's just like, oh, cold, dark, frozen, barren.
It definitely makes a big difference. Like too, when you wake up in the morning and the sun's already up and by the time you go outside it's like warm, you're like, I could totally do this today.
Right. Like leaving the house at 5:30 is NBD.
Right.
Lately.
In the summer.
I'm like, fuck yeah, it's 5:30. Cool. Sun's out, buns out. Let's go. I'm like in such a good mood.
Yeah, by the time I go outside, it's already warm enough to only have a t-shirt on. It's fantastic.
Uh-huh. That's for sure.
Okay, well, I think we should probably pop off.
Pop off. In what way?
Off you pop.
Off you pop.
For a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Here we go, folks. All right, we are doing a local ladies giveaway. You heard us talk about it earlier in the podcast, but we have 1 week to offer you a spot as a contestant on an Instagram giveaway. So it is local to Flagstaff, unless you're willing to travel here to come up for these services, which honestly would be worth it because the value of this is over $600. So we wanted to show our support as a collective group of local business owners, all women, by the way, in this town, to other locals. And we just wanted to support and encourage you guys by doing this big, awesome thing for you. So what this is going to include is a 20-minute, 15-picture mini session with photographer Hannah Rose Gray, a reparative gloss treatment and blow dry style with stylist Laura Morrissey, a handmade sterling and turquoise pendant by jeweler Avery Kopp or Reed and Rush, a 30-minute cupping session with massage therapist Olivia Joy Smith, a 1-hour in-person or Zoom intuitive life coaching session with moi, and a personalized signed copy of a brand new book, Tales from the Deck, The Magician, a novel based in arcane magic by the author Shiloh Faustine Terrence. So what you have to do is you have to go on Instagram, go find my business page, Holly White Health, And I want you to click on the most recent post that says giveaway, read the instructions below, follow the instructions, because that's how you're going to be able to win, which are to follow each badass business owner featured, like and save the post, and tag 2 people in separate comments on this post. And that is it. So we're going to announce a winner next week, and we want to let you know that we love and support you, and we thank you for your marketing and support of local lady-owned businesses. Love you. Bye.
All right, guys, we're back. Thanks for your patience. I guess. I don't know.
Were you hoping it was going to echo and then it didn't?
Patience. I wanted to preface the off you pop. We're going to pop off you pop thing. That's actually from a show that we've referenced before. Great British baking show. And that's, of course, where
GBBS.
Somewhat of our inspired accents come from. But another good one is First Dates Hotel. And I think we've discussed the premise before on here, but basically it's this magical oasis where they have this team that is basically like a lovemaking team of,
lovemaking team. That's called an orgy.
That's called an orgy.
Just want to let you know. Okay, back to you.
So it's a team of these love coordinators, organizers. That's a word. Great. Look at you. Yeah. Matchmakers.
Pop off.
That have these people come to this hotel in this magical romantic place, and they try and set them up on a date for them to find love. But yeah, that's a great show I've been stuck on recently, and Holly's definitely a fan.
It's so cute, you guys. I cry regularly because I fucking always cry, but it's just like so cute. Like not everyone works out, but a lot of them do. The staff on the show, like the serving staff, and
not everyone works out. Like they don't find love, not like they don't lift.
Oh, right.
Not everyone works out.
Like, yeah.
In that way.
So the dates don't always they don't want to see each other again, or they don't like each other.
Yeah,
they don't
some people
get
just
on,
aren't compatible.
They don't get on well, don't fancy each other.
Yeah, right.
But most of the time they really get on. They really fancy each other. And they've just done an incredible job of matchmaking. It's honestly unbelievable. And so we watch these episodes all the time. They have one in Italy, France. Those
are all the ones we've seen so far.
Yeah. And it's just like adorable. But I was going to say 2 things on this show. One, I have really learned that that there are so many different versions of British accents.
Yeah. We've been watching for whatever reason, just all kinds of different shows with varying accents.
They've got like Essex.
Yeah.
And I can't. There's just so many different ones. There's like the Welsh accent, and then
there's like Cockney, and
it's so
all
many
kinds of different ones.
Sometimes the people don't pronounce their T's, so they're like, "Have you got a tattoo?" And I love that one, tattoo. And then other people come in and they're like, "Yeah, I've got like 12 tattoos." And they go, "Oh, you say your T's, you've got quite posh accent, don't you?"
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if they say their T's, apparently they're quite posh.
Quite fancy.
Quite fancy. And
quite fancy you.
There was like
isn't
it? That's the other thing. There's always the asking of the questions, which we were assuming maybe is because the Brits are so polite. They have to ask questions after everything they say, just in case they're wrong. They're like,
can't make a declarative statement. That would be offensive.
I really love this podcast. Don't you? No, we don't. We don't actually like it. Okay. Sorry. Never mind. Move on. We'll stop now. It's the in it, isn't it? Ha la la, ha la la. It's so cute. I fucking can't stop doing the British accent. And another observation here, unless you have one. You want to switch off? You got one. This is gonna sound mean as fuck up, but I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if I had a past life where a British man I'm gonna go ahead and make up a story about a past life, because this is what immediately comes to my mind. I wonder if in a recent past life I was a British woman married to a British man, and then he left me because he was very effeminately gay or something. Because, and I was duped, like I had no idea. Because for some reason, British men to me, I feel like an aversion to them on a romantic level. I don't know what it is. My friends are often like, "Oh my God, that British guy is so hot, his accent." I find it to be a huge turn off. I love the accents. I think they're fun. They're
I
great.
do enjoy the accents.
I love it. But as far as like finding a man attractive romantically, can't really do it with the British accent. And I would love to be proven wrong. I would love it.
Culturally different, not compatible.
There's something like, so the reason I mentioned the gay thing and me being duped, I feel like there is something I associate with British men being dainty. And that's so not okay because that's not true as a general statement. But there is something that I've always like felt in myself about that. And I'm like, this must be something I carried on from another time because I don't know that I've personally had an experience with British men that has made me feel that way in this life. But give me a Scot, give me an Irishman, I'm all in. They're super hot, I think. I love that accent. Right on. Rad. But like if a dude comes up, looks like Steven, and then goes, I can't even do it. And then goes, wait, what is the thing they say?
You're right. You're right.
Steven comes up to me, hot as fuck physically, and then goes, "You're right. Hey, how ya? Come on." And then kisses me on the cheek and goes, "All right, let's go have some dinner." I'm like, oh, that was Australian. That was like from the outback. Whatever. There is something there that I go, oh. So you know what? Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm an asshole.
Just send us all your hot English and British crushes so we can review them.
Right, but you have to send me a video because that's the thing. It's not about their physical attractiveness.
That's
I'm
true.
like, sure, I've seen plenty that are physically attractive.
Or attraction goes beyond the physical personality.
It's
the voice.
It's the voice, the accent. I can't do it. I don't know what it is, you guys. Can someone tell me that? If there's like a psychologist out there that has an idea
accents
about
on
it.
females are sometimes attractive, but sometimes I'm like, it just feels kind of abrasive. But that is just our perspective, and surely other people think like
we're gonna lose British listeners here.
Surely people think Americans are like,
oh yeah,
hey, can I have a beer? And a hamburger, please.
I love how your voice gets deeper.
Everybody who would imitate an American thinks they're just down low country,
We need to put that out there, you guys.
American.
Yeah, we do when we're watching this show and we like repeat stuff because we're like, that was fucking adorable or so funny, whatever, like from the British accents. Just want to put it out there that we also make fun of us in American accents because we know we say that all the time. They're sitting there going,
I like their slang terms. I really enjoy
too.
them. They're very, very entertaining and like oftentimes very catchy. And I thought too, because I've actually seen on like my Facebook video feed, I've seen the videos where people are reviewing things. Like it's kind of a weird concept that we do that. We watch other people watching that and reviewing it, which just is kind of strange to me. Yeah, we're fucking weird.
We're fucking weird.
But I've seen this show First Dates Hotel being reviewed by other people, and so you're watching the people reviewing it and getting their reactions, and it's great because sometimes it's like American people who are watching it and sometimes it's English people or British people.
Do they do what we do where they repeat them and stuff?
Yeah, they'll get a big kick out of it, but I've always thought we would be great at reviewing it because we're just totally into it, into the storyline, but also with our own repertoire and comedic kind of
spin.
Yeah, plays on what they're doing and what they're saying. I think that would definitely be fun. So if anybody from the show's looking for people to review, we can definitely make that happen.
Or your guys.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean so much. You guys, I'm trying to stop, okay? It's an addiction. I completely understand that we all have annoying voices when we hear them back, right? Every time I listen to this podcast, I'm like, could you be more of a valley girl? I don't even realize that I sound like that when I'm talking until I hear myself back, and then I'm like, "Oh my god,
It's just one of
hi."
those things where nobody else thinks it but you.
Right.
Because
No.
even like all the guests we've had are like, I don't know how I sound. I don't know
Right.
about that. It's just different.
Well, voices are such a funny thing because like they carry you through life. They're so important for us.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And sometimes we can't help the way they come out, whether it be an accent or you're audibly impaired and, or you had an accident and I don't know, whatever. There's so many different things we can't control with our voice and the way we speak. And then, or you have a speech impediment, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but then we listen and we're so mean to ourselves about the way we sound. I don't know why we all seem to be so disgusted by our own voices. It's pretty rare that you hear someone that goes, I love the way my voice sounds. I think it's awesome. Most people go, oh, cringe.
I
It's
think,
such a
yeah,
weird
it's just not
concept.
something we're used to experiencing is hearing our own voices. So, like, when you leave a voicemail on somebody's phone and you hear it, you're like, is that what I sound like? And
Right.
it's, I don't know.
Okay,
It's
let me
different.
ask you this. Are you the type of person, at least maybe not now, maybe now, but maybe when you were like in high school, that you would leave a voicemail and then play it back before you actually pressed end?
No,
I would.
I don't, I don't think so.
I
I
did that
think,
all the time. I'd leave a voicemail and then be like, I just want to see how it sounds. So I would like wait till it's like press pound,
I feel like I would be
press number 2
concerned
to
about how I
listen.
sounded. So then I would just end up sounding awkward.
Oh, you couldn't do that. That's true. You guys, one time a few years ago for his birthday, we were trying to invite people out to go to dinner. I'm not joking. I timed it. He took 20 minutes of typing and deleting a text to like 3 of his best friends, right? And then
No, that
goes,
was when we made it like a Facebook event and
no,
I was
no.
trying to type up the whole,
That was another time.
well,
I remember it was a group text to like 3 people and he ended
that's
up saying was,
that's not
"Hey,
accurate information,
birthday dinner
guys.
at Karma 7 p.m. Hope to see you there." I was like, "Oh my god, I am shaking over here watching this go down. This is my worst nightmare." I was like, "Just give me
Yeah,
the phone."
well, I just want to sound the best I can, all right?
I know, you're
I'm
such a
actively
sweetheart.
practicing, hence the podcast. You're welcome.
I just want to know.
God.
So you're wrong though about how we're the only ones who judge our voices. I judge people's voices all the time, as I just did about the British men. But also,
Uh, no, it's
I
true.
will
Other
never
podcasts and
forget.
stuff, when you listen, if they have a voice that doesn't make you feel comfortable or doesn't have
Yeah,
like that warm light feeling to it or doesn't excite you, you're not going to listen to it.
right.
I know what you're about to talk about.
There are 2 things actually. One you
Yep.
just put in my mind.
Yep.
But the first one is that when I was in high school, this like 13-year-old boy, I'm talking to him on the street about my dog or something. He was a neighbor. And he goes, God, could you sound more like a stoner surfer valley girl? I was like, what? You little shit.
At 13, he had
Yeah, he said that to me
the
and I was like,
foresight.
I didn't realize I sounded like that. And he goes, how could you not realize that you sound like that? And like tried to make fun of me super
If you
hard.
talk like that 100%, I would not be dating you.
I was like,
Sorry, I
you
love you, but
okay. Yeah, I was so taken aback and I kind of laughed and tried to play it off. And he was like, I mean, he kept putting his foot in his mouth, like going deeper with it. And I was like, all right, I get it. My voice annoys you. The cadence of my voice, whatever the fuck. So you tell me what you think the other thing is.
it's it wasn't a podcast, it was an audio book that was
Dude,
being read by I don't know who.
dude,
But
babe, you just put that in my mind.
the
You put it in
voice
my mind.
was just so irritating. It was kind of high pitched and the cadence just didn't quite feel right. And we were listening to it, I think, on a trip to or from Phoenix, some sort of long drive. And I was
It was to Wyoming, I think.
after like 10 minutes or something, maybe 15 minutes, I tried to really endure it and just let it go and see if I could just follow the storyline. I was like, I can't do this. We got to change it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
And I had
not at
already
all
listened to it.
interested. Because just the sound of the voice it kind of
I
crawled
know.
under your skin and made you want to
So that woman, I don't even, she's a famous actress. She's in a ton of shit. And it, I knew when I heard her voice because I love Stephen King. I love all his books. I listen to the audiobooks, like just fucking love Stephen King. Huge fan. And so I really wanted to hear um this series, and she reads like two of the four mini novels in this series, like When Stars Burn Out. And so I didn't know that when I bought it on Audible. So I listened to the first two or whatever, and then she comes in, and I'm like, I know this voice. And instantly I saw this woman in my mind. Like, that's how obnoxious her voice is, that within a few minutes of listening to her on an audiobook, I knew exactly who it was. And every film or TV show I've seen her in, she annoys me just the same. Like, she has this personality that actually it like tracks with the voice like that, where you're like, you would fucking have that voice. um Response? Just silent.
No, I agree. I think we have nice voices though.
We've got nice voices.
It's one of those things you should probably let other people tell you, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think I have a nice voice. So
love your confidence.
You are all so welcome.
I wanted to just say I stan you or I stan with you, but I have no fucking idea what that means. I've just been hearing it recently. What does that mean?
Like stand in solidarity?
No, like
Stan.
Like
Oh,
the
I
name
stan?
Stanley,
No, I
but
have no
Stan.
clue.
People are gonna listen to
We're
this and be
getting
like
old.
idiots. Yeah,
It's
I've
gonna
been
be the
hearing people
13-year-olds.
say that. Like,
Are you
I
sure?
stan you. I think
What?
so. Or like I stan that thing.
You got what? You gotta Google that
No,
shit.
yeah, I heard it. Been hearing it recently, and I don't know what it
Young
is.
pop culture reference. We're just clueless too.
Yeah.
You're pretty bad about those though. I'm usually the one who has to tell you what something is.
Remember when I didn't even know what pop culture meant?
Yeah.
I really, even now, I don't remember actually what it is.
Popular culture.
Oh, yeah. I always think it just means pop music culture.
I mean, it's definitely related to that, but it extends far beyond that.
It really does.
You know, it's all the references and the new things happening and trends and
TikTok,
all that good stuff.
TikTok has taken over our lives, you guys. What are we going to do?
TikTok has infiltrated and like covered the world.
I know.
Shit's crazy.
Remember when they were talking about banning it?
Yeah. Never happened.
Cool. Not cool, man.
Whatever happened to banning TikTok?
Why would you ban it though? What was the thing? Why did they want to do that?
Because the company that owns it, I guess, was like a Chinese company that was apparently taking the information of its users and doing things that we didn't necessarily agree with, or that our government didn't necessarily agree with. And so they were talking about kind of shutting it down for that reason. But
they didn't like the booty shaking.
Yep.
It's like when Elvis took over, and
started shaking his hips.
Parents everywhere were angry.
It was like the devil.
Yeah. Well, TikTok and Elvis definitely have the devil in common. That's not, everyone knows that. That's real.
We're actually thinking about selling our souls to get millions and millions of followers. So
we've been negotiating it. We're not sure if we stan it yet. See, doesn't that seem like that's maybe how it's right? It's saying support it. Is it support?
I have no fucking clue, honestly. We're going to have to Google it.
From. I know. I don't have my phone, or I would do it right now. I have a funny question for you. Would you rather have a podcast show like this where you could never reveal your identity, like on a physical level, you always had to just be anonymous?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather have a TV show that's like really successful, but you could never reveal your real voice? Speaking of voices, like where it'd have to be something like my voice was dubbed as your voice and your real voice could never be revealed.
Oh, that's a good question.
And you had to like sign a contract on either end.
That's an interesting question.
Isn't that weird?
I think for my own like ego's sake, I would want the television show because then, people could see me and I could be famous that way. The anonymous thing with the voice, I mean, I guess if you reach like the same level of fame both ways,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind the anonymous podcast. Um,
I mean, I guess,
that's
yeah, a
an
lot of
interesting question. That's pretty cool.
so
I like
not
that
that
one.
long ago, before social media was a thing, most radio hosts wouldn't, why would
Right.
you ever see
Zero
their face?
recognition.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
would you
If you see
ever
him
see
in
their
public
face?
and then you hear him. We actually had a radio host from one of the local Flagstaff stations
Oh,
come out to
yeah.
one of our garage sales, and she started talking, and immediately I was like, "You're this person." She's like, "Yeah."
I
I
was
mean,
like,
looking at her, I would have never thought anything, I was just
yeah.
like, "You're just somebody coming to check out our garage sale." And then she started talking, and immediately I knew who it was. And Holly's like, "What? How'd you know that?" And I'm like, "Because that's the radio station that I listen to at
Right.
work all the
Well,
time."
and she's super hot. And so I was like, oh, what are you like obsessed with her or something? Why would you know her voice? Steven's
Uh,
like, I didn't even know what she looked like. Like, oh,
she sings me to sleep every
yeah.
night.
Also working at the Rendezvous when I was bartending, I gave the card back to this woman who is a radio host for like the KNAU,
Hmm.
the NPR, the substation in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
And I read her card and I was like, are you this actual person? And she goes, yes, it's me. I was like, wow, that's so interesting. Cause I actually thought that she was like a college student. Her voice is so young sounding and she's,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe in her 40s or something. But I just had no idea what this person, you never know what someone's going to look
Right.
like on the radio. It's so crazy sometimes to see people and you go, that's your voice? Wow, never would have put that together.
I feel like once you listen to somebody for so long and don't see them, you kind of make up this mental image and
Yeah.
associate some sort of feeling with like how they might look or probably look. And then if you see them and you're totally off, you're like, I can't even put the two together now. Like total
Right.
disconnect. I've done that with a couple radio DJs that I've listened to for long enough, or like different radio show hosts where I've listened to them for so long that eventually I'm curious enough to look it up and I see them and I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I listened to them for too long before I saw them instead of seeing them
Mhm.
first and then listening.
I think that's a really good point that, yeah, we make up these people in our minds. Like, there's a podcast I listen to that I really enjoy by these two journalists, and I want to know what they look like because a lot of what they talk about on there is their image and that kind of is like what influences their activism and stuff. And I totally respect them for this, but they don't have any photos of themselves on their social media, like their Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just like photos of the things they've written or art they appreciate or, new articles, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's frustrating though, because like I want to see you and I totally respect your anonymity, but also you're doing me an annoyance here by not letting me be satisfied in the moment when I want to be like a regular modern human.
Yeah.
I want to know what I want.
We want it now.
And we want it now. Jesus, you're right. One of these animals is farting and it's going to actually make me die, I think.
I think it's Stella from all the medication she's been having to take.
Oh, yes. So
Our dog's stinking up our podcast room.
And our dog has to get knee surgery again on her second knee.
Another one.
Call
up DJ Khaled.
Knee surgery.
Yep, knee surgery number 2 for our sweet beloved Stella. She's only 2 years old, so maybe we'll just give her a knee surgery every year for her birthday.
Yeah. I only laughed because Steven, I know he's like saying that with such contempt because we both are like, oh, we love you so much, but you are the most expensive fucking dog ever. We're paying purebred prices for a res mutt, like full on. And she is
we
the
really
best.
got shafted on this deal.
She's the best dog, but
she is, absolutely.
She's so wonderful. Like, don't get me wrong, no matter what kind of dog she is, she's worth it. Clearly. But holy shit, you guys. This is great training for us having children. Like, that's why when we talk so much shit on why we don't have kids right now, I'm like, we don't need kids. Our fur children cost us just as much money as human babies.
I want to have my hobbies.
I know, poor Stevie. Yesterday, he's like, "Man, I want to keep working on my truck." Like he has, his Blazer collection, and it's super cool. And his cousin Joey has been working on his truck. Shouts out Joey.
Shouts out
And
Jesse.
also shouts out Jesse for saying shouts out
I
instead
actually
of
haven't
shout
listened to
out.
that one back yet, so I'm really curious.
It's pretty great. There's a lot of shouts out in it and a lot of
He
talking over
started
each
going
other.
fucking ham.
Yeah,
He started going real hard on that.
that was really
The
funny.
tequila kicked in.
And you can hear it throughout. For all of us just start blabbing on. I'm like, this is what happens in a bar.
Well, at some point, I feel like we just started having so much fun and got into the conversation. And we're like, oh, yeah, we're also trying to create a podcast here. Whoops.
It wasn't that bad. It was fine.
It's good entertainment.
It was great. Yeah, so Steven's getting all this work done on one of his Blazers, 74 full top. And yeah, bro. It's going to be super sick. And I'm really, really stoked because, Steven works his ass off. Like you deserve, you're in the room next to me. Sorry, babe. I'll look at you. I will.
Acknowledge me, damn it.
I endorse, let me put it this way. I endorse your
happiness.
Yes. I was going to say like your treat yourself things. Yeah. I endorse that. Like you absolutely deserve that. And I felt so sad for him yesterday because we got back from the vet consultation. They're like, okay, well, it's going to be thousands more dollars. We just spent $1,000 in the last 4 days there already. And he goes, I just really want to work on my truck. But then it's, the reality is like truck or dog. Kind of, it is what it is.
Yeah, I just don't want to be irresponsible. Like, I can afford to kind of do whatever I want, but not while still saving as much as I want. And so it's like, I got to put one thing on hold to keep making my financial goals. And so,
well, I heard
dog it is because it's a living being.
Yeah. Well, I heard Method Man on Steve-O's podcast today say that the biggest thing he would tell his younger self is to save more money. And that's so dope. If Method Man said it, you kind of have to listen.
It's got to be factual information.
Method Man said it, so I started doing it. I also fucking love Method Man and Steve-O. So those are goals right there to have them on our podcast one day.
Yeah, I just don't want to blow my load all in one place,
I mean, are you worried you're going to blow your load on them or
no? No.
You're going to be your L on their T's?
No, I was just talking about financially, don't that's when parents tell you don't go spend it all in one place.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart.
You're doing the right thing, honey buns.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. Your Blazer's gonna be fucking sick. Don't worry. And when I have millions of dollars, I am going to spoil the shit out of you.
So many Blazers.
I'm gonna buy you every single Blazer that you ever want. Whether a tall Blazer, small Blazer,
that works
big
for
Blazer,
me.
Small Blazer. Did I already say that one? I'm done. Whatever Blazer you want, baby.
All right, guys. Well, if you haven't had enough of us already, we're gonna keep talking. Just kidding.
We should just call this couch chats or something.
Yeah.
Couch
chats.
We really have. Sometimes I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not sorry. You know what? No, fuck it. I'm not
sorry.
sorry.
Don't be sorry.
If you were hoping for a very structured podcast, you have maybe found out by now, 20-something episodes in, that is not going to happen.
Stumbled across the wrong one.
We're pretty much just going to invite you into our living room and let you listen to us while you do mindless tasks.
Just pay attention to us, and we'll just talk about us and ourselves and...
and British men.
Yep, those two.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well... here's the thing. We exist not only in this reality, but also virtual reality on social media. So Find us on Instagram at Indecent Disclosure Podcast, YouTube Indecent Disclosure Podcast. Let's see what else, Stevie Bean.
Just me and you. I would be at Stephen of Flagstaff on Instagram.
I would be at Holly White Health on Instagram.
And you can jump on all those platforms to check out that giveaway too while
Hell
you're on
yeah.
there. So until next time, guys, you have a good week and a good weekend.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.